districts from around the state, Connecticut, and it was mentioned to me that there are a couple of districts that don't hold convocation. And it's kind of shocking to me. I'm like, wow, why would you do that? And I love the beautiful tradition that we have in Milford Public Schools, that we come together right before we get started of what's going to be an incredible year and celebrate our community. This is a celebration of us and what we do. And I'm hoping that's how you see Convocation. It's a celebration of what you do each and every day for young people, what our partners in our community do to help us serve our young people. And I'm just grateful for this tradition in Milford Public Schools. And speaking of our great guests and partners, I'd like to start with introducing some pretty significant key members of our community that help us do what we do every day. So let's start with the Honorable Richard Smith, Mayor of the City of Milford. We also have the Chief of Staff for the City of Milford, Justin Rosen. Recognize their presence in the room as they walked in. Thank you to the Milford Police Department. We have Deputy Chief Brian Roche, Captain Gary Del Monte, Sergeant Dominic Bailey, and incredible supporters in our school resource officers, Sue Clark, Steve LaChavo, continues to support us in different ways. We have two key partners in the department that help us with community engagement, Jimmy Cox and Brianna McDonald. Thank you. And continuing in the tradition of the DARE program, thank you to Brianna McDonald, Joanna Salati, and Javon Nesmith for your support in that program. So there literally is a new chief in town, Milford Fire Department, Anthony Fabrizi, Fire Chief, is with us. And thanks to Assistant Chief Fire Marshal Chris White-Nortness and Mark Lebrecht, Senior Fire Inspector. And other fire inspectors that assist us all throughout our building, so thanks for all of that. Two individuals that I've grown to know very well and love and appreciate most recently over the last couple of years. We in fact greet each other with hugs now. We're like family. Milford Health Department Director of Health, Eva Joseph, and Director of Nursing, Joan Campbell. Additional partners that help us extend the love of learning and reading. Milford Public Library members, Library Director Christine Angeli, Assistant Director Suzanne Harris-Thomas, Young Adult Librarian Danielle Valanzano, and Children's Librarian Ashley Hemming. Thank you for your So you see, it takes a lot of hands and a lot of partners to support our young people throughout the city of Milford. And to speak a little bit more about the city of Milford and our work together, I'm inviting the Mayor, Richard Smith, to offer a few greetings for the city.
Good morning. So we've got a big crowd. Yeah, should reconsider my remarks. But anyway, I'm just going to tag on Dr. Catalia's recognition of all the folks in the audience. I always miss someone. I think she thoroughly covered it, but my friends at police, fire, department heads, city employees, perhaps most importantly, teachers, administrators, staff, educators. Good morning. Thank you for allowing me to say a few words this morning. It's truly an honor to be here with such an august group as this. If you'd indulge me for maybe a couple minutes, I'd like to share a few thoughts, and then ultimately my thanks, and thanks on behalf of the city for what each of you do, and what you will do in the weeks and months ahead. I can't overstate, and I fear you may not often enough, or at all, stop to truly consider the enormity of the role you play in the lives of our children, the future of our city, state, our country, still yet, the world. But I take this very seriously. It's not hyperbole. This is real. What you do every day is real. Second only perhaps to the parents, you have the opportunity and access to our young people, to their minds, to their aspirations, fears, and their futures. Think about the profound opportunity each of you has to change the world. One student at a time, one day at a time, one school year at a time, from pre-K to 12, each day. Open your arms and you will open their hearts and their minds and their imaginations. We as parents, as a community, we hand over our children to your care, guidance, your tutelage, and in return we ask you simply to ignite within them a fire to learn, a fire to understand, be curious, be passionate, ethical, and fair. We ask you to provide them the framework through which to see the world. One in which they might come to love history, music, art and literature, science and math, philosophy and economics, a place of ideas and conversations, a place in which they can participate, a place where they will find a role for themselves. College presidents from various universities once asked what they considered to be the definition of a good education. And while there were many answers, there was one that stood out to me. That which teaches the student to ask the question. Ladies and gentlemen, inspire them to ask the question. I shared with some family the other day that I was going to have the honor of presenting a few remarks here. And my niece, Marissa Hurst, probably here, told me to keep it short. So I'll try to wrap up, but I did have a chance to meet with the new teachers last week, and I shared with them that as I find myself growing incrementally older, I find myself asking the question, why are we here? What is the purpose? We all have those moments, right? And we know it's not to acquire things. It's not about cars or houses or money, although they can make life easier. But they all fail us at some point. I'm convinced that the right answer is as simple as this. Let us live every day to make the world just a little better than we found it. It's not overly ambitious. Be kind, inspire, respect, listen, and do good. Ladies and gentlemen, what an incredible opportunity each of you has to change the world. Every day and every night, when you lay your head down on your pillow, you'll be able to know that your work that day made the world a little better. Thank you, each of you, for your passion, your dedication. The word you've chosen is noble. Now go change the world. Godspeed.
Thank you, Mayor. Now there is a special category of partners that I've left for this very moment, and that is the incredible work and passion and support that we receive from our Board of Education. I don't get to talk about them very much in public to all of us, so I'll just take that moment. I counted up. If you've been in the business a long time, you sometimes count on your fingers how long I've been doing this. So 32 years. This is my 32nd year in education. And I can genuinely say I have never worked for such a truly dedicated, kid-centered Board of Education in my entire career. And I feel so incredibly fortunate for so many reasons to be in Milford, but at the very top of the list, along with a couple other things, is the ability to partner with members of the Board of Education. They're elected officials. They don't get paid for what they do. And if you were there every other Monday with us, you would see things that demonstrated evidence that they've got our backs, is the best way to describe it. They want us to do great, innovative things for kids. They want us to take risks. They want us to learn from our mistakes. They want kids to grow and strive. And equally as important, they want educators, professionals to grow and strive. They've got our backs. We're so grateful to the Board of Education. We have two members of the Board of Ed representing this morning. I'm so grateful to say that our Board of Ed Chair, Susan Glennon, is with us, and Garrett Roach is as well. So thank you for being here.
Good morning. So listening to Dr. Kutai's remarks earlier and listing all of our partners, it really kind of struck home to me. It really does take a village. And I'm so grateful for all of you here this morning, including our non-educators. It just says a lot that you've taken the time out of your busy schedules to be here. So I hope you all had a wonderful summer and are ready to jump into a new school year. So I can remember as a child the mixed feelings I would have at the end of summer as September approached. I really enjoyed getting my school supplies ready, collecting brown paper bags to cover my books. I became an expert at that, and if it ever needs help, it was one of my favorite things to do. So I could go back shopping with my siblings and my mom. And that anticipation, however, always outweighed the dread that I feel over summer days coming to an end. And I expect as adult educators, you all feel some of these same emotions, because I know how much you love your profession, but I also know how difficult this profession can be. I work with little ones myself, and I know that it can be a challenge on certain days. So as you greet your classes tomorrow, know that your Board of Education recognizes your commitment to Milford's young people. We so appreciate your dedication, knowing you enter the building, every single one of you, no matter what your role is, you enter the building every single day in service to them, even when the challenges might make you want to stay home. So I hope you continue to lift each other up, as I've seen you do so many times, offering support, sharing suggestions, and the knowledge about your craft, and just be a good friend within our amazing school community. Good to yourselves and each other, and have a spectacular year. Thank you so much.
We are also fortunate in Milford Public Schools to have an incredible partnership with the Milford Education Association. I'm grateful for the opportunities that I have to meet with and discuss issues and items related to you with the leadership of MEA, particularly that Dr. Mary Ellen philosophy. Dr. Philosophy.
I have always looked forward to our convocation every year, and that's because I was able to see all of my friends and colleagues and everyone I work with throughout the year. So welcome back, everyone. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce the officers of MEA as well as our building reps so that we put a face to our union. So Stephen Beal, please stand. He is our Vice President. April Ackett, our treasurer. Alan Stern, our professional rights responsibility. Tupka, our membership chair. Joanna Thompson, our secretary. Kelly Cookwet, our legislative chair. I have to say they are a committed crew of people, and I appreciate everything that they do as well. Now I'd like to introduce the building reps. So could all of the building reps please stand so that your members can see your faces and say hello to you. Wish everyone a fantastic school year. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. I'm a little technologically challenged. Let's see if I can do this properly. Oh, wait, is somebody else doing it? Ooh. Okay. So, Leslie, are you doing this? You do it. All right, thanks so much. So this year we have an amazing freshman class, if you will, of 49 new teachers. Some people have not yet joined us because their district is holding them for their days, and most of you are here. And we have 8 new administrators, or new to their role administrators. Our teachers are representing approximately 20 different teaching endorsement areas. So please stand when I call your name so we can give you a warm welcome. Marissa Akamora. Rosalba Adario. Jada Alcati. Rosie. Stephen Monteri. Rory Valentino. Dawn Black. Sean Brennan. Rebecca Brown. Brendan Burgess. Melba Dorian Globe. Joy Castro. Jay Chipetta. Jamie Colucci. Sarah Connery. Joe Corkery. Aaron Dest. Matthew DiLoretto. Tom Drew. Edmead Duncan. Corey Evans. Amy Ferrati. Brett Gagliardi.
Gilhooly, Morgan Guadagnoli, Callie Jackson, Jerry George, Bo Kamakowski, Amanda Kemp, Chelsea Lazaro, Nicole Mackin, Therese McGuire, Alexandra McCool, Elise McGinnis, Kristen Nichols, Brianna Pecora, Penny Phipps, Catherine Reardon, Amy Rizzo, Brian Schacht, Michael Siddiqui, Brian Sitter, Amy Smith, Jen Stewart, Morgan Stone, Lindsay Silzicki, Colleen Swaller, Andrew Swaller, Marissa Toro, Betsy Vaughn, Heather Ventura, Tim Vigil, Carol Walker, Diana Waltheder, Hajia Yahaya, and last but not least, Jean Zakowski. And lastly, here is our class picture of all of the new teachers from Milford Teacher Academy. Welcome. So, for those of us that have been here for a while, although we can't appreciate all of you up on the slide, we do appreciate you and are so glad you are continuing your career with the Milford Public Schools. But we do like to point out some of our service anniversaries, major years, 5, 10, 15, 20, up to 30 this year. We have no 35 or 40, but maybe next year. So again, when I call your name, please stand so we can recognize you. Okay, 15 years. These folks started in August of 2008. Megan Flannery, Katie Burnett, Joanne Lombardi, Laura Marinelli, Mark Wisbarski, Christina Scarpa, Karen Schlein, and Megan Stahl. Big round of applause. Our 20-year anniversary awards are for folks that started in August of 2003. Okay, please congratulate Michelle Dixon, Megan Fitzsimmons, Rick Ricko, Sarah Kaminsky, Mark LaPierre, Marianne Bach, Susanna Laverme, Sherilyn Hunt, Laura Murphy, Shannon Nichols, Jean Pellegrino, Molly Gaskell, Richard Shea, Joe Urban, and Gina Zapone. Moving on to 25 years ago, August of 1998. Need that one. Please congratulate Tom Ackley, Sula Barkus, Dawn Bettencourt, Debbie Grillo, Angel Jaggers, Carolyn Jones, Jane Morrissey, and Deborah Schultes. Congratulations. And lastly, before you turn the slide, 1993, August of 1993, Bill Clinton was our president. The price of gas was $1.16 a gallon. A 2-liter bottle of Coca-Cola was 99 cents, as was a pint of fresh blueberries and a jar of Hellmann's mayonnaise. The Cowboys won the Super Bowl. Mrs. Doubtfire and Sleepless in Seattle were in the theaters. Bill Nye the Science Guy first aired, as did the Food Network, and the last episode of Cheers aired. And lastly, remember these? Beanie Babies went on sale. That's how long ago we're talking. So please give a warm congratulations for David Cannizzaro, Julie Fisher, Andy Perugia, Michelle Laslett, Pat LeMay, Marianne Lennon, Karen Money, Peggy Schaap, and Patty Stark. Thank you all so very much for your time, sir, here in Milford.
Congratulations to all new teachers and teachers that have been serving our young people for so many years. At this time, it is customary during our convocation to allow our teacher of the year to have a few words. We're going to ask Mr. Darcy to join us to introduce Milford's 2023 Milford of the Year. Teacher of the Year.
Good morning. I want to thank Dr. Kataya, members of the Board of Education, and everyone here from the city of Milford, along with all the staff members here this morning, for allowing me to speak and introduce our Milford Teacher of the Year. First, I'd like to mention the achievements of our choir students this past year. We had a record number of students make it in and participate in the CMEA Regional Honors Festival, the All-State Honors Festival. And for the first time, 2 of our seniors participated in the All-Eastern Honors Festival. We also had students selected to be showcased as an ensemble at the All-State Music Convention for the first time in the history of Jonathan Law. Several of our seniors moved on to college to major in musical education due to our honoree as well. When I think of our honoree, I know exactly why these achievements happened. It's because of the relationships she builds with our kids. When I think of our honoree, a quote by Rita Pearson stands out, and it reads, "Every child deserves a champion, an adult who will never give up on them, who understands the power of connection, and insists they become the best they can possibly be." Our 2023 Teacher of the Year is a champion. She is someone who doesn't allow our kids to quit and challenges them to be their very best each and every day. She is someone who not only built a program at Jonathan Law, but has built a choir family. And I think she's tearing up already over there. Our honoree is someone whose impact is measured by the joy we see in our kids every day and the impact they have on society moving forward. I've been in education roughly 20 years at this point, and I have truly never seen the connection built that our honoree has with her students, her choir, and their family. At this time, I'd like to recognize, thank, and introduce the 2023 Milford Teacher of the Year, Ms. Kelly Jones.
Mr. Pelagi, this is really all his fault, and the selection committee for this honor and privilege to be recognized for doing what I absolutely love, teaching music. I am truly humbled and overwhelmed to be standing before all of you today, knowing so many go a lifetime of doing incredible work during the day-to-day counseling, consoling, acting, and, oh yeah, we're educating, without feeling the gratitude you truly deserve. I know this because I've been surrounded by amazing educators in all 5 buildings I have taught in, and it's because of all of you that you put your all into your craft that pushed me to strive to be better. This room is packed with bright new ideas and a wealth of experience, and knowledge with such different perspectives, outlooks, and gifts. It feels like an insurmountable task to reach every single one of you in my comments today, but this is exactly what it's like to be a teacher. We enter a room full of differences and unknowns with a goal to make connections. How powerful it is to have this unique opportunity to make a change for the better. So thank you to every single educator that makes such an incredible impact on your colleagues and students. You mean more to so many than you will ever truly comprehend. My passion for music began when I was in junior high school and was coerced into continuing in band. It was my band director, Mr. Lee Hausline, who inspired me simply by caring about what he was teaching and pushing his students to play with a passion to reach their potential. That passion was amplified in high school when I was consistently encouraged and positively influenced by my music director, Mr. Paul Lineberry. And yes, I remember both of their names despite, as my students and my children, one of which is going into high school tomorrow, God save me, so lovingly remind me I'm getting old. I think that's what sticks out the most to me, not the old part. Students remember. I remember, and I'm certain you remember a specific teacher who had a positive impact on you. It's probably why most of you are in this room today. Because of the unforgettable educators I had, it became my goal and passion in life to hopefully instill that same passion and create positive and lifelong memories for my students. That's what we all have the power to do every day, and we should treat that power with care and know its gravity. It's cross-curricular. See that gravity? It's like, all right, all thanks. Our impact can last a lifetime. It doesn't matter what the content area is that we provide for our students. As long as we approach each lesson with care, passion, and connection, we can make a difference. I'll never forget the scene from Dead Poets Society when Robin Williams jumped on the desk. That might be where I get my jumping on the desk from. Who saw it? Okay, that's like a small percentage, but thank you. That doesn't mean I am getting old. All right, in the moment, the students seemed unimpressed, but it stuck with them, and at the end of the movie, when he was leaving, the students jumped on the desk in a sense of solidarity to say, "Oh, Captain, my Captain." They remembered. To say it was a moving moment is an understatement, and although I never had any interest in the content he was teaching, I wanted to be in his class and learn from him. I cannot think of a more noteworthy, because I'm a music teacher, you get it, profession than to teach and engage the way we are blessed to every single day. And along the way, our students will be the ones who make an even greater impact on our own lives. I often stand in front of hundreds of people as audience members and conduct like my life depends on it. I speak about music that we are performing at length and even do a cartwheel here and there. I promise you I will spare you today. But for some reason, speaking to all of you is unbelievably overwhelming. Every time I look up there, I'm like, oh my gosh. My only explanation is that typically, when I am in front of large groups, it is always centered around the students. thankful, I'm going to redirect my gratitude and appreciation to the incredible students, past and present, who have truly shaped me into the educator I am today. There is no chance I would be speaking to you if it weren't for them. They are what inspire me to grow as an individual and a musician, and I can honestly say I am so much better at both of those things now than I was when I graduated college. Ironically, when I thought I was at my peak. Goes to show we are always a work in progress and growing. As educators, we encounter daily struggles and obstacles that can be overwhelming and lists of to-dos that seem insurmountable. But at the end of the day, we do this because of the love we have for our students. What makes every day worthwhile for me is that when I enter the doors of my classroom, I encounter my second family and get to make beautiful music with them. It is such a true gift to teach music because in a world where there is so much divisiveness, darkness, and apathy, I get to watch these young musicians blossom and shine as they unite through music, bringing beauty, passion, and unity, not only to each other, but every person that they perform for. For me, creating this family and watching them grow, connect, learn, achieve, and reach their potential is such a gift. Then they rudely leave me when they graduate. I'm always mad about that. For new and exciting next chapters, it's heartbreaking. But although they continue their journeys without us physically present, they remember and will carry the connections we make with them forever. Like this one.
I want to thank Mrs. Danini from West Shore. When I was in 8th grade, even after I had her as a teacher, she came in early every day to help me with my homework, and because of her, I was able to pass algebra. I'd like to thank Mrs. Grillo for making 8th grade Spanish during COVID really fun. I'd like to thank my 7th grade Spanish teacher, Ms. DeAngelis, for whenever I needed help with something, she would respond with the brightest smile. I'd like to thank my 7th grade science teacher, Miss Randall. She used to smile at me all the time in the classroom and the hallway, even when I was in class.
Thank you to Ms. Stagnini for always being there for me and encouraging me to not be embarrassed about myself and how skinny I was.
Shout out to Mr. Wood, my 5th grade teacher, for not only wearing cool sneakers, but also teaching me that it's okay to not be the same as everyone else. I'd like to thank Ms. Schwartz for always giving me the patience I needed to excel in my class. I've gotten a postcard every summer since 1st grade, and that was one of my favorite years of elementary school. So thank you so much, Ms. Jackers.
Something we must learn to be our man.
And I can say because I know them, I am certainly changed for the better. Oh no. Let's keep embracing the power of music, the power of passion, the power of education, and the power of possibility. Together we can do so much and make memories that will last a lifetime and shape our students' futures as well as our own. Thank you again for this incredible honor. Thank you for lifting me up with your attention and support. Let's keep making memories, and let's give a round of applause for our students. My convocation message to you usually percolates in me. There's no like distinct, I'm going to write this out and outline, it's just kind of percolating. And I felt the power last year, the sustaining power of sharing my story about mom and dad. And it was so great that you guys remembered that in January and you're asking me, how's mom? And so I thought, and I did give you a little update in the letter, but I give you a little update on the family. So there's mom and dad on the left, right? And my family here. And I'll tell you a little funny story about, so they're about to be 81 and 83. And their lives are just significantly slower than usual. They're running and they're still getting in the car, puttering like Mr. Magoo on the highway. And it terrifies me, but they can still go to places like the grocery store, the bank, the post office, etc. So I'm over at mom and dad's, and we're sitting at the kitchen table, and I said, hey, I'm so glad you guys decided to come to Doug's birthday party. We've decided to come up with the theme of a luau. And so I explained to them what a luau is. I don't assume that culturally they know that. And I said, even better, we're asking everyone to wear something Hawaiian. And he goes, I'm more like. I don't understand that. We need to know like. I'm more like a Hawaiian. So he's telling me he's not going to wear a Hawaiian shirt. He said, I don't like it, and I know where. Okay. So I explained to him the benefits of wearing a Hawaiian shirt. I explained to him that it would be a great way to celebrate Doug, and we could do a family photo like this at the end of the day. And he goes, no, I don't like the Hawaiian shirt, I don't wear. And that's it. And that's it, right? So I thought the conversation was over. I'm not going to pick a fight over this. He's coming. I'm so grateful that they're going to expend energy to take a ride out in the car and come to a party and everything. That's a lot for 81 and 83. I thought it was over, but my mom reaches over, smacks him, and says, you wear the Hawaiian shirt. As you see, he's wearing a Hawaiian shirt. So that was part of my summer, celebrating family, being as much a part of their lives as possible. I know that each one of us has likely had a summer full of celebrations, but also sadness. So I ask that as we go back to our schools today, tomorrow, know that not everybody's summer had great days at the beach, and that includes adults and students alike. That there are a lot of folks struggling and have some heartaches. So just be really present about that with your colleagues in your hallway, in your department, and the students that are in front of you. That while it may look like a beautiful, happy family, which we are, there's still some struggles there. And I don't know how many more days I'll have with them, so I went shopping for the Hawaiian shirt and heard about it for an hour until we found one that he would wear. And I do this is for you, Anna. I do this is for you. This is some of his words. So I started thinking about human behavior and how I am watching that change in my family. I told you about my son who's 30 and engaged. Here he is in the middle with his fiance. And how he is a young man like he wasn't at the age of 16. This is the kid who would not pick anything up in his room, was video game driven, didn't really have any interest in socializing with the family, and now he's calling mom to see how I'm doing. And when I go to his house that he just purchased 2 years ago, he's cleaning in the kitchen. And I'm like, who is this person? So start thinking about human behavior, what changes and what impacts behavior, because that's what we're in the business of doing, right? Aren't we in the business of trying to impact the behavior, the cognitive development of young people? So I was shared with me, a colleague shared an article with me by Alan Deichmann, written in 2007. It summarized the coming together of the smartest people in the world. 2007, top executives who have deep, deep pockets decided, listen, we have world issues that plague us, regardless of country, nationality, ethnicity, race, religion. Why don't we bring the smartest people together in these fields of the top issues in the world, and let's figure it out. Well, that makes sense, right? Bring the leading scientists together. So they did that, and they looked for, in the article, it's called the far-sighted thinkers. So they brought in one of the issues was healthcare. And they thought, let's put these individuals together, and they put them on a stage in a panel format, and they did a Q&A, and they said, putting your minds and your expertise together, tell us what we need to do to solve some of these health crises across the world. And the answer was surprising to the executives. Their answer was that for decades, the answer is the same. The answer in 1955, based on research, was the same on the research in 2007, and I didn't look for what happened in the next 16 years to today. But the research was consistent. That 80% of health issues are actually related to 5 behaviors. Take a minute to think and talk to the person next to you. What are the 5 behaviors that are related to health? 80%. how do you impact human behavior? Oh, one more thing. That was the medical panel expertise. So you would think, okay, it's really hard to change these things, right? Like, some of these things are just, many of us have tried. And we paid good money to some organizations that help us stop, right? And it's very hard, it's very difficult. But it also applies to the business world, and this is a name that you probably recognize, John Carter from Harvard University. He also says this.
Spacebar.
It's the most important challenge for businesses trying to compete in a turbulent world. The central issue is never strategy, structure, culture, or systems. And as a leadership team, we talk about those four things all the time. It's actually the core of the matter is always about changing the behavior of people. At the core of change is the behavior of people. So that's pretty depressing in this article I'm reading. But it finally gets to how can you influence impact behavior? So let's get to the answer, right? The researchers said that when we're trying to change behavior, we should first approach it through feelings, not intellectual. Now, that's kind of weird because the panel was full of scientists and engineering, technology kind of people. They like stats and numbers and percentages. And these are the people that are saying you should speak to individuals' feelings when you're trying to change your behavior. Second, they say, and included in that is don't take the steer the heck out of approach. If you don't do this, you will die. That doesn't motivate people, actually. Medical, there was, in the same article, they studied individuals that had bypass surgery. And 2 years later, 90% of those individuals went back to their old behaviors. So speak to something that motivates in a positive way. So the medical field, they were suggesting not use language like, you're going to die if you don't do this. But to focus on, you can have a better quality of life, and you can celebrate the joy of life. The second part of changing behaviors included surrounding people with support. Finding the people in your life that will support you with that change. And we do that every day in school, don't we? We allow kids to find communities that they belong to. We create that environment for kids to belong to. And I'm hoping that our schools are creating that environment for you to belong to be supported in the changes and improvements we're trying to make. And actually, I was surprised by this part of the article. They say that actually small changes over time doesn't work as impactfully as sometimes a radical change. You just need that light bulb moment, that aha moment, and put your mind to it and make it change in your life. So that got me thinking even more so about what we do and our young people. But it got me thinking about my own experience as a teacher, actually. And I'm so glad Kelly was talking about the impact between teacher and student, because that's exactly where I was going this morning. Some of you who are at HQI Live heard me talk about Tyler. So I went digging into boxes of pictures and found this picture from circa 94, 95. Something like that. That's me as a 26, 27-year-old. I was very sad to look at that picture. And that is Tyler. I'm a 5th grade teacher in that picture. I was at Lakewood Elementary School in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. That's where I started my career in Horry County Schools, South Carolina. I taught at Lakewood, which is down by the Lakewood campground, if you're familiar with that area of Myrtle Beach. And I was in my, 4th or 5th year of teaching, and Mr. James was our principal. I was on a team of 3 other 5th grade teachers, a large elementary school, and the 3 other teachers had significantly many more years of experience than I. 2 of them had children my age, actually. Yeah, that was I got additional mothers that year. And another teacher had teenagers. So I was the youngest in experience on the team. And Mr. James comes to me in June-ish, because in that school we release class rosters the last day of school. So you have all summer to pester the principal to change the kids' class. I'm sorry. Play dates. So Mr. James comes to me and says, so Anna, I'm putting Tyler in your class in September. Everybody knows Tyler at Lakewood Elementary. Everybody. And not necessarily for good things. Tyler was the kid that had a name on a chair in the principal's office. He was there so often. Tyler was the kiddo that we had to run out on the playground as a youngster because he was having a meltdown and was not going to be in class and not listening to anybody, and that's the way he manifested and told us how he was feeling. Tyler was the kid that maybe you would not want in your class because he expressed very challenging behaviors, and that was his mode of communicating. So I had all summer to think about Tyler. And it reminded me of a part of the article, and I didn't know this was what I was doing at the time, but I was trying to make a decision with the frame to which I was going to look at this. That the facts are, Tyler's going to turn my classroom upside down. Those are the facts. But the way I had approached it is to create a space for him where maybe that could be different this year. So my own mental structure, the frame I went into the school year, I was a little worried actually. I remember feeling worried about how am I going to provide an environment for Tyler so that I'm not dealing with that all the time. So school year starts, we're off to a rough start. Doing every magic toolbox thing I've got as a fifth-year teacher. Had great support from the principal, great support from the other fifth-year teachers. It was hit or miss on what I was doing to make it work. And I didn't know what I was about to do was going to change everybody's life. But the custodian at Lakewood Elementary was Al. Isn't it funny that you remember some facts in life? Al was, paisan. Like you're telling you know what that means. He's from New York. He's got my back. I got you, girl. You're from New York. Like there's two people in the school from New York. Everybody else is Southerner. Down Myrtle Beach is mostly what New Yorkers say. And I said, Al, do I see desktop computers in the custodial storage room? Now, guys, it's 1995. It's AOL dial-up, and computers are not in classrooms. Okay? No mobile devices. Because he's Mr. James, that principal, he's crazy. He bought these computers. Like, he thinks like somebody knows how to use them or something. Like, yeah, they're gonna sit there all year, collect us. Right? I'm like, actually, do you think I could have them? He goes, you take them. Nobody's gonna know who took them. Nobody's missing. I'm like, all right. So I'm just gonna borrow them. Not mention it to anybody. So I grab a couple of my students, including Tyler. We go down to Al's closet, storage closet, and I don't know what I was thinking, but I'm like, guys, you have to be very quiet. It's in the middle of the hallway. There are huge carts with desktops, and I'm having kids go like this back in the classroom. Right? So I think I'm golden. We get in there. Immediately, there's something in Tyler I see. And he's now plugging things in. I got it. I can do this. Like, there's this natural thing there. Oh, sorry. So it's a couple weeks now, and we're using the computers. And we've got the floppy disks in playing Oregon Trail. You know, the Oregon Trail! It is. It's not a floppy though. No. Man, when that floppy got lots of books around. And I turn around, and who's sitting at my desk? Mr. James, principal. I'm in big trouble now. So I'm teaching away, I'm not stopping. And I don't know if it's my prep or something. I go over my desk and there's a note. It says, "Come see me out your break." And now I'm like, I'm just going to start packing up right now. So I go down there, and of course I have a defense. I'm ready. That doesn't surprise you. I have the facts on how technology is a new trend in education. I could be a pioneer. I'm ready to sell it. So I go in, and I just start talking. Of course, I'm going to try to mitigate this issue. And he puts up his hand and goes, "Wait a minute, stop." He goes, "You know what you're doing with those computers?" "Oh yeah, I'm going to work figuring it out. The kids are helping. Yeah, I think we're doing them, right? If I buy more, will you help teachers learn how to use them?" I'm like, yeah, I'm going to buy more. Well, Mr. James placed that order. It doesn't take as long these days. Back then as it does these days with computers. But here's the important part. There was such a spark in Tyler around these computers. When I went back and told the class they were getting more computers, like there is like a different demeanor to Tyler. And so I picked up on that. I said, "Hey, Ty, do you want to help me out and help the teachers? Like, no one really knows what they're doing." Yeah. So I went out and bought a little black toolkit and put little tools in it. And Tyler now became the tech assistant for Lakewood Elementary, and teachers had to sign up. Teachers had to sign up to have Tyler come to their room to help them with their computers. The same teachers, right, that prayed to God that Tyler would not be in their classroom on their list, right? That's the honest truth. It's the same Tyler. Now, Tyler's life, I shared this at Each Try Live, he lived in a very impoverished area, Socastee, which is a little neighborhood in Myrtle Beach. It's down by the river, just like across the tracks kind of notion. And I knew when Tyler's dad was sober and at home, and I also knew when Tyler's dad had not been home for days. You know how you know that, right? And I also knew when Tyler had dinner last night and when he didn't. Nobody was checking homework. No one was making him do homework. No one was signing the field trip form. So I had to make a decision when we rolled the computers down secretly to my classroom. I could have established a structure, the conditions in the classroom for Tyler to say, "Tyler, if you get 5 stars today, you can play on the computer. Tyler, if you bring your homework in tomorrow, you'll have first shot at the computer." What would that have done with Tyler? That's setting him up for complete failure. I couldn't reward something through fear. And that's what reminded me of the adult behavior study. And guys, I don't want you to misunderstand me. Like, I'm not the hero in that story. Because I didn't change much. I changed the frame, I chose a frame on how I was going to approach Tyler. But Tyler's the one that did all of the changing. He's the hero of that story. And what I did is I created conditions for that to happen. I had the power that year to make a difference in Tyler's life through establishing the conditions for him to change. To encourage him not through fear, but what was best in him, what the best part of him could come out that year. I encouraged him, I created the conditions, because in our classroom, we created a family structure where nobody was going to pick on Tyler or be afraid of him or refuse to be a partner with him, or refuse to play with him at recess. We created a condition where kids surrounded one another in that group and accepted the differences and challenges. But I had a huge impact on those conditions, right? And for somehow Tyler, there was that immediate change in him when he had hands on that computer. He was like a different kid. And I want to say, like, I knew that, and that's why I went down and got the computer. It was an accidental stumble for me, but here's the key. I was present, and I was watching, and I was listening for it. I was in tune enough with Tyler to know there's a change there. And I'm going to create a condition to further that change in behavior. So that year, I made a bet that Tyler would be successful if I allowed those things to happen. Now, was it perfect? No. It's not like all of a sudden he became this model student, although at the end of the year, at the award ceremony, we recognized him with a certificate, and the whole room stood up and applauded for him. You know, he's like that. You can see like a little bit of shyness to him there. But he made that change. And I wasn't the only one making a bet on him. All of a sudden, other teachers were. And when he went off, when he went astray, we all supported him. I think without words, Lakewood Elementary made a bet on Tyler that there's a possibility for him to be okay, to be successful. I was talking to one of our principals this week. We've been investing in this young woman so much. We have a lot of community partners and supporting the family. And she was doing so well, but when summer comes, those supports sometimes are not as present. So we're worried about her. I don't want to give up on her. I want to make a bet that we can make a difference in that young lady's life. So I'm asking you as you walk away today, grab a poker chip as a reminder that there are kids waiting for you to bet on them, to invest in them, to create conditions for them to be successful in their own way. It may not be like the way we think it is. Like as educators, we're thinking, if I do A and then B happens and then C and then I'll introduce D and then, right? No plan goes that well. So let's think about as we walk away today, who the young people are in front of us, and who the young people are that need us to create the conditions that they know we're making a bet on them, that they're going to do it. I feel like we're doing that with the Hilton system. We have 49 people. We're betting on you. We have people who have served us 15, 20, 25 years. I hope you have felt that we've been betting on you and supporting you. Talking to a brand new teacher from Milford yesterday as we were floating around, and she says to me, after one day for day one, I went home and told my family, I actually think this district cares about me. I hope you feel the care. I am incredibly fortunate to introduce to our team a brand new member that we're taking a bet on that has a proven record of success. And the first thing that people tell me about him that have worked with him over the years is what a great, kind, nice guy he is. That he leads with his heart. And I've only worked with him for about 12 hours. Steve Autieri, our new assistant superintendent of teaching and learning, joined us yesterday, and he wants to share a few words with you. Welcome.
Well, I made it on stage without tripping, so that's the first one. And the second one is, if there's anything I've learned from leading convocations over the years, if you're the last person, you are the shortest person. So good morning, everyone. It is my distinct honor and privilege to have the opportunity to share a few words of encouragement with all of you this morning as we kick off the 2023 school year. I am beyond excited to join the Milford family, and I look forward to visiting your schools, classrooms, and offices to learn what makes this community so great. This time of year brings a sense of excitement and joy as we anticipate the arrival of our students coming back to school. My message to all of you today stems from one of my daughter's favorite stories when she was young, One Small Thing by Marsha Diane Arnold. The story features a raccoon who loses his home in a fire during a lightning storm. Upon hearing of the tragedy of their dear friends, the other animals of Brightly Wood think of all the ways that they can help Raccoon. The essence of the story's theme is that the small actions of many can make a truly significant impact. As we begin school this week, I want to challenge you to do one thing. On your ride into work each morning, I want you to ask yourself, what can you do better to impact our school community? What is your one small thing? Perhaps it may be that you reach out to a colleague that's in need of support. Maybe it's stepping out of your comfort zone for the first time to try a new strategy or idea out in your classroom. Form those strong connections. Take risks. Learn from failure. Maybe it's being an advocate to a student that's in need of support and assistance. Maybe it's just a simple gesture of kindness in the hallway to a fellow colleague, student, or parent that will hopefully blossom and cascade to other folks. Now, the work does not stop there. I'm going to give you homework. As you climb into your car at the end of each day, I want you to take a few minutes to think to yourself, what did you do better today than you did yesterday? It's critical to know that if each one of us looks for our greater self, then these small actions do really combine to make a truly significant impact. Please know that I will be here to support you every step of the way. I will be here to celebrate your accomplishments. Please stop me in the hallway to say hello. I look forward to meeting each and every one of you. My door is always open. I wish you a wonderful start to this school year, and I look forward to my work with each and every one of you. Remember, you truly are the key to making your students' hopes and dreams come true. Thank you.